So now we're going to focus into the structure and function of alveoli, which is for gas, the most important part for gas exchange. Okay, so what are we looking at? We're looking at gas exchange between this structure called alveoli and this structure called capillary. And what can you find in these two structures? Alveoli is filled with air, right? Capillary is filled with blood. So when you describe, so make sure that your description is crystal clear. Are you talking about the structure? So there's air in the alveoli and there's blood in capillary. So the gaseous exchange occurs between the air of the alveoli and the blood of the capillary. So this is how crystal clear is what I said, crystal clear description. Or you cannot say gaseous exchange between alveoli and blood. No, it's gaseous exchange between the air of the alveoli and the blood of capillary. So this is called a very crystal clear description that you want to train yourself to achieve using the opportunity when you learn biology in these A levels, so that when you go to higher level, when you describe things, whatever course that you take, your description, you're already trained to describe crystal clearly. That is very important. Okay. So gas exchange system occurs between the alveolus and the surrounding capillary, so between structure and structure. So you can see that the entire wall of the alveolus is filled up with the capillary bed, right? That means the blood vessel branches into capillary, so the capillary is very close to the surrounding tissue for exchange of materials. So in this case here, increased surface area for exchange of gas. Okay. So first thing we want to learn is the structure that forms the wall of the alveolus. So you need to pull out this slide and label the cells, the 6 types of cells that you can find in alveolar wall. Okay, so let's look at the 6 types of cells that you can find in the alveolar wall. So number 1 is the endothelial cell of capillary. So in the wall, we've got capillary for gaseous exchange. So we know that the cell that form the wall of the capillary is called endothelial cell because it faces internal environment. Okay, endothelial cell of capillary. So label this one in your diagram notes. So these are the capillaries. So you can see one, you can see the rest of them, and lumen filled with red blood cell, and also you cannot see white blood cell here. Sometimes got white blood cell. So you got red blood cell. So second type of cell you can find in the wall is the red blood cell in the lumen of capillary. Third type of cell you can find here, you can see here, this is a macrophage that has migrated out of the blood vessel and enters the alveolar space. So that means to say there must be some air particles that have stimulated this macrophage to migrate in order to phagocytose away those air particles like virus, bacteria, spores, spores, okay, pollen grains, dust particles, okay. Now we also got this white blood cell also have migrated out from the lumen of the blood vessel and now moving inside the wall of the alveolus. So this is the wall of the alveolus, okay, white blood cell. And then what white blood cell is this? You see, you got the nucleus that is eccentrically placed and indented. So what cell is this, Shifa? Shifa, what cell is it? Shifa? Hello, are you there?
Sorry, which one?
This one. This one. What cell is this?
White blood cell.
Yes, it's white blood cell. So what type of white blood cell you have learned? Eccentrically placed nucleus and indented. So what cell is this?
Sorry, I forgot.
Huh?
No.
Huh? No? Okay, Vincent, what cell is this? Some of them type already. Monocyte, very good.
Oh.
Chloe said monocyte, Keisha said monocyte. You all agree? Is it monocyte? Monocyte, right? Only monocyte got this feature. So this is monocyte. Okay?
Yeah.
Yes, but if monocyte has migrated out from blood vessel, right? So when migrated out, what do we call them? Macrophage, isn't it? The big eater. Okay. Monocyte is when it is still circulating inside the blood vessel. The moment it migrates out, we have to call it a macrophage. So I will actually call this cell a macrophage because migrated out from blood vessel already. Okay, so this is something that you need to always remember. So make sure you study until you're very familiar so that all sorts of questions come out. It's very easy for you because you know the basic. So you need to spend time to study so that you know the basics. So any kind of question come out is actually very easy for you. Why? You just know that when do I call it monocyte? Inside the blood vessel. When do I call it macrophage? The moment it migrates. So is this white blood cell inside or outside blood vessel? Outside, because surrounding it, there's no endothelial cell of capillary wall. Don't have. So we call this macrophage. So this is a potential MCQ question. Okay. So next, what else do we have here? So number 5 is a squamous epithelial cell. So the epithelial cell of the alveolus, right? Facing the wall here. Then number 6, we have what else? Surfactant secreting cell. So this cell here is also facing the lumen. So this, but it's a very big cell. So you can see here, because why? It secretes substances. So when you want to secrete the surfactant, which is a kind of fluid, you expect the cell got a lot of mitochondria to produce ATP, to produce the surfactant, and then got a lot of Golgi apparatus to form the secretory vesicles, so they can be secreted. So the cytoplasm is quite huge because it contains those organelles, right? As compared to epithelial cell, it's not for secretion, so it's very flat. So the main purpose is to form the wall, and the main purpose is make it flat for gaseous exchange to occur, right? So the distance of the thickness of the wall is very thin. Okay, surfactant cell is to secrete a chemical called surfactant. Okay, so this blue color line represent that layer of fluid the layer of fluid that line the surface of the epithelium. So this is called fluid containing the surfactant. So it's a fluid, which is the mucus, which contains the surfactant. Okay, so let's look at the micrograph of the alveolus. Micrograph of alveolus. Now, this is quite a thick section, but still very good because we can see individual nucleus that are not fused together. So this is thick, but it's thin enough for us to see the individuals. Usually in exam time, if they give you a lung slide, the alveolus that you can see usually is like this, quite clear. Okay, so let's learn how to identify the structure. I'm trying to look for the lungs to show you. Okay, where's my lung structure? Okay, so what is this here? So now you can see the P1 and P2, right? P1 and P2 are actually now this is the epithelial cell, the squamous epithelial cell of alveolus. This is surfactant cell. You can see it's very fat. So this is surfactant cell. Okay. Now, what else do we have? We have this is the endothelial cell because it is the round part is facing this lumen of this blood vessel here. You can see this is a capillary with red blood cell here. So this round part is facing the alveolus, sorry, the capillary. So that means the cell is like this. So the nucleus is like this. So this is the endothelial cell of this capillary, right? This is the epithelial cell of the alveolus. This is the surfactant cell. Okay, C stands for capillary. Now, very easy to see capillary, right? Because why? You see the space here is white color. The space here is also white color. That means it's empty. But this capillary got a red blood cell here, got a red blood cell here. So therefore, this is the capillary. Okay, so what else can you find here? They also label M. Let me check. What is the M that they have labeled here? M is smooth muscle. Are you sure? Cannot be smooth muscle for this capillary. M is definitely not smooth muscle. Let me check what is this. Cannot be smooth muscle. Could be macrophage. Yeah, the phagocyte. Correct. This M here is actually the phagocyte. Okay, they name here phagocyte, which is macrophage that has migrated out from the blood vessel. So it's macrophage. Okay, it's a macrophage. So basically, these are the cells that you can find. Okay, for the alveolus. So I want to show you another slide first before we move on. You see, what is the difference between this and this is, this second slide is a very thin section, very, very thin section, thinner than this one. And because of that, can you see the number of nuclei that you can see is actually less? And secondly, the stain that they use for red blood cell is different. The red blood cell here is more like magenta color, right? But the red blood cell here is blue-black. Can you see not? Blue-black color. Why I know these are the red blood cell? Because it's found inside the empty space. You see this one here is inside this empty space where the color of the space is same as the color of this lumen. So I know that this is red blood cell, this red blood cell, this red blood cell. Okay, what about my nucleus? Nucleus is not blue-black. Nucleus is purple color. When you see one purple color here, you know the rest of the nucleus are also same purple color because they are all nucleus. So this is how you distinguish them. So what I want to bring to attention is I want you to see how to make a detailed drawing of the structure. Okay, let's look at students' drawing. This is not my drawing. Students' drawing. Then your homework also you need to draw. So I ask a student to draw a detailed drawing to show what are the components of the alveolar wall. So I've got 3 samples of drawing here, and they look quite okay for all of them. Okay, so the first one, so you can see that the student are drawing this region, this wall here. So you need to choose the wall where the individual cells are very clear, the individual capillary is very clear, the nucleus is very clear, so you can draw and label them one. So you need to scan around the slide to look for the area where the cells of the wall are very clear. You zoom in there and you draw that one. Okay, so before you can do that, you need to know what are the components of the wall. Then only you know how to see which one is clear. Even you do not know, so you can just see, oh, I can see 2 different colors, very obvious one, they don't overlap. You go there and then you draw that part, because drawing itself is already 1 mark. Whether you know how to identify is another mark altogether. So you want to score as many marks as you can, regardless of how well you're prepared. Of course, I hope you prepare very well, okay? So see what the student have drawn. This one here is this red blood cell here. You see dark black, blue, black, right, red blood cell. So what is missing here is the student didn't draw that space. Where's the borderline of this space here? The student didn't draw, right? All these 3 students didn't draw the empty space. Got draw or not? Got. You see, this one is the empty space, right? And this is the red blood cell. Very good. So this student got draw. This student also got draw very clear. This student not so clear. Okay, not so clear. So need to draw. Then secondly, you see this one. This is the nucleus of the epithelial cell of alveolus. So the student draw the nucleus and then nucleolus in the center, but not very accurate because the student didn't draw the heterochromatin that are found at the side there. See, now the best nucleus among the 3, you can see this one here is the best because this student draw exactly as the shape and size and location of the of the heterochromatin. You see, this is the best. This is the best among the 3, you see not? Because all of them got the same diagram. Thirdly, now this is again is a lumen because the empty space with 1 red blood cell. So the student have to draw the empty space with the red blood cell. The location, the size, the shape, everything must be exactly the same as this one here. Then nextly, this is a nucleus already because purple color, not blue black. So the student draw here purple color, right? But then you can see that this could be the lumen of another capillary. So the student draw another capillary here. See here? So this is very clear. Okay. Then we have got another capillary here with another red blood cell here. Maybe overlapping with the, you see this part here is flat. So it may be overlapping behind it is the nucleus of the endothelial cell of capillary. So here, student draw halfway, cannot see. Yeah. So let's say this lumen is not very accurate. Not very accurate. Okay. But overall considered quite okay already. But I don't expect to see a red blood cell this shape one, correct or not? So I think red blood cell is up to here. This one is the nucleus behind it. Okay, but this is not correct because why? You can see that the space here extend all the way to here. So for me, I will draw this space extend all the way to here and then come back here. Then this is another capillary. See here or not? This whole stretch is another capillary. So all these red blood cells are not flowing inside capillary. What happened? What happened to my capillary? Gone already. So cannot, must draw the capillary. See where are the capillary? Draw it. Okay, you need the capillary wall to house the red blood cell in the empty space here. So I will draw like this. Like this. This is a continuous capillary. Okay, all the way like this. So you enclose this red blood cell within the lumen of the capillary. So the border line must draw to indicate where is the lumen. Okay, now this one is good. You got the red blood cell and the lumen. Then you got the lumen and the red blood cell. Very good. Okay, very good. So overall, this is what you need to draw. Okay, this is what you need to draw. For your homework, you choose this wall and you practice drawing today. Okay, practice drawing this. Right? Okay. So this is another student drawing. So you can see, this one is quite very clear. Okay, you can see the lumen or not? Okay, red blood cells inside lumen. And this one, the student cannot see individual cell, right? So the student only outline, this could be a nucleus, right? It could be a nucleus of the capillary because it bulge inwards to the lumen inside the capillary. So most probably this is a nucleus of the endothelial cell of capillary. Okay, so I'll stop here today. You have learned about the structure of alveolus.